Good afternoon, hello, my name is Daniel, this is the TriathlonDan YouTube channel. I'm currently at the Outlaw full distance triathlon and I'm in transition and I'm having a neb around at bikes. This is Louis Dunn and this is his Argon 18 E117 Tri. But I'm going to let Louis just talk us through this because you've tweaked this quite a lot, haven't you, for triathlon specifically with speed in mind. So just give me a run through, what sort of things have you changed on it and why?
Yeah, so I mean, it's the lowest end of the Argon frame sets. You got two above it, but I thought it actually works quite well as a triathlon bike set, and my mindset was that I just put the best stuff on the lowest frame, save a bit of money, and then means I can have nicer wheels and grip set and whatnot. So the guys at Try Harder built this up for me end of 2022, and they stocked the frame. I bought the head wheels from Head directly and then sent them to Try Harder, mainly because Alex Dowsett said they were fastest. So that's my research.
Take my money,
and then what I've tweaked since then is that I've put this sort of storage unit in. It makes it bolted on. It's just bolted on, but because of the sort of low frame set and the stem sticking up, it kind of makes it look more integrated. I think it looks better. I've had these custom just high-sided armrests, and then recently gone to some slightly different extensions on, just to have my hand position slightly differently.
I like those extensions because I feel like they do support your forearm and do feel pretty flush, but they're not mega money, are they? No,
they're not mega money, and the ones on before sort of meant I had to do like a sort of a really weird handshake where this is sort of I can hold on without holding on too tight. And then the recent change, well, sort of in the winter, to make sure I can do some over gear work and keep up with Finn Arentz, who I train with, is to whack a 58 tooth chainring on. So compensating for something.
He's used to the hills of 10, isn't he? Well, good in transition, nothing else. Yeah,
good in transition, and you know, when you're rolling around on training camp with him and you're just spinning out and he's, you know, flying down, I thought that's what convinced me to get the bigger chainring.
And that is that tool storage there?
Yeah, that's that
aftermarket
Rad Sport 3D printed one. And that, like the higher end Argon frames have that in the frame, but that makes it look pretty smoothing.
Well, talking to the aero nerds that we know in the triathlon world, they all say that filling in that space is one of the best things you can do to the bike. You look at like the Pinarello Bolide and like more modern time trial bikes, they all fill that space in, whether it's in the frame or tool storage or whatever, so that is brilliant.
And that is full. I've learned my lesson to carry a few spares now. I've even got a multi-tool in. For half distance, sometimes have it less, maybe even empty, but it's just filling that space. And then speed play pedals on, with the power meter on. I'm not convinced about them. I'm not completely sold on them, but they seem to work for me. And
I've had 2 sets.
So it does the job. I've continually tweaking it with whatnot, different bolts, different tyres. I've not gone tubeless yet. I like an inner tube.
Quite wide tyres. How big are they?
25, but the rim's quite wide. And the thing with the Head, they come tubeless compatible, but they're so almost like the tyre wouldn't bead on them. They're so loose to get on, so it would take me 2 minutes to get a new inner tube in. So that's sort of why I keep it like that. And
good stuff.
I think that's all the changes.
Thanks for showing us around. Have a good race tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers. And it is tentatively for sale. Slide in Louis Dunn's Instagram DMs if you're interested.
Unfortunately for me, it is for sale.
Now, if you watched when I did this at the Holcomb Outlaw, this bike has already been on the video, so I'm not going to go into detail about it, but what I am going to point out is, in the comment section of that video, 1 or 2 people did mention to Tom, who owns this bike, that he could do better in the tyres and tubes department, so he'd like to make it clear that he's bought some TPU inner tubes and some Continental GP 5000 TT tyres, and now because of that he expects to win tomorrow, so thank you, YouTube comment section. So this is a Cube Aerium. You don't see very many of these around at all, but I did actually look at one of these a little while ago. A lot of integration on this bike. I do particularly like the wine and cork bottle in the hydration storage on top. I'm not sure if he's lost the lid to it or if that's what it comes with, who knows. These bikes are quite interesting because I believe they come with, in fact they do, hydraulic rim brakes, so they work really well, but from what I hear, you just can't get any parts to service them, so once something is replacing, you're going to struggle, but they are a very good rim brake setup. Of course, people do struggle with overheating wheels and so on, but hydraulic rim brakes, nice little addition. So this is a specialised shiv. Interestingly, not the S-Works, but it looks like the person has put a great spec on the rest of the bike. I don't actually think the difference between an S-Works and a specialised frame is like the be-all and end-all for amateur athletes. A couple of things I really like about this. X-Lab Gorilla bottle cages. These grip your bottles really well. Doing events in the UK, going over bumpy roads, when you lose a bottle and it's your fueling gone, it's a problem. So they are brilliant. They're not cheap, they're about 50 quid each, but they are really, really good. I also like this person has got targets on their top tube, so a pacing plan on there. Interesting to see. Nice little food storage there, tool storage in the middle and fuel storage if needed. And yeah, really nice bike. I do think these used to come with the hydration reservoir that goes on the back, and they normally run a straw up through the bike, but it doesn't look like they're using this, obviously using the bottle cages instead. And I think quite famously, Lucy Charles, when she was sponsored by Specialized, used this bike but had problems with the hydration unit, so then didn't use it, and whether that caused Specialized to be unhappy or not, I don't know. But yeah, interesting and a nice little bike. I know what you're going to say, this is not a triathlon bike, but hear me out. This is a Canyon Aeroed CF SLX, nice colour, too small for me, top two storage bag, fast setup. Like, this looks like a real nice bike. I actually think that triathlon should be draft legal, like all of them, or not riding packs, but I think it should be on road bikes, because you can use this on the road, you can use it in a race, it's fast, you're not having to go to the expense of having a separate time trial bike. So I love it when people bring these sorts of bikes to events and race on them, because I hope that more people will then do that. And I myself might do that, in fact. So yeah, really nice little bike. Looks like it's had some miles in it as well, so I'm sure this can be well used. Mountain bike pedals, clean drivetrain, clean is fast, hydraulic discs. What's not to love? I love these Aeroads. So this is a Felt IA. I don't know which model it is, but I think it's one of the lower spec ones because it has the aluminium base bar and round parts in the center. But I actually think this is better, and round parts in the center isn't very clear. Where the extensions clamp onto the base bar, it's round, so it means you can adjust the angle just by loosening the bolts and adjusting the angle that way. My Felt is really difficult to adjust the setup on the front end because of the bolt spacing on the stack is really narrow. This is loads easier to adjust, so this person's going to be able to make the fit exactly what they want without buying loads of expensive parts. And if you've got the higher spec one that I did, it's actually more of a pain in the backside. All the parts on this bike I quite like. It's got a YBN rainbow chain. I don't know if it's an NRG waxed or not. NRG are one of the biggest suppliers of these chains in the UK and my partner on this channel, so maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it looks cool nonetheless. An easy disc rear disc wheel cover. We know that these are as fast as disc wheels, so I'm sure that this is a worthwhile investment for the small cost that it is in comparison to a disc wheel. Real nice little bike. Now, these bikes can have internal hydration hacked into them. This person hasn't done it though. They've got food storage on the top there and a bottle on the seat tube and a bottle in between the bars, so as well as two bottle cages behind the back. 112-mile bike ride, you're going to go through a lot of fluid, so this person here can carry 4 bottles of their own nutrition, which is a good shout if you're out for a long day fueling yourself. So this is the Canyon Speedmax CFSL, and this is their entry-level bike. However, you'd be forgiven for thinking that it's a top-tier bike because it's got everything you could need for a triathlon. So obviously it's a time trial frame set, deep wheels, fast position and all of that. You've got some bottom bracket storage there for tools and spares. You can get a bottle cage on there as well, or on the seat tube if you want to take the spares bottle out. You've got nutrition storage on the top tube and built-in profile design hydration. That is everything you could want in a triathlon bike. This person has also used the seat post mount for another saddle, bottle cage behind the saddle, some zip extensions. Like, this is everything you can ask for in a top tier bike. I do particularly like as well that there's a angle adjustment on the extensions on the stack, like stock from Canyon. You don't have to go and buy separate bits. So these are still quite a lot of money, but they're not as much money as the top tier bikes, and I think that's a really good entry point into the sport. It's going to take you a while to outgrow this in terms of need, and it's quite budget friendly in comparison to the top tier bikes. So I really like this sort of thing. So the last bike we're going to look at isn't actually the bike that I'm looking at. This event has unfortunately had the swim cancelled tomorrow because of blue-green algae. However, I think this person would have been absolutely fine because based on the condition of that straw, their immune system is going to be tip-top. They've been exposed to some stuff that's probably due to be replaced. Have a good race.